Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about my real-world home experience, cinema experience with the UGREEN NAS, combined with an Apple TV, but this is also applicable to something like a Nvidia Shield or another Android box. After using it for a while, I've tried several different ways to play my movies, TV shows and music. I tested the native UGREEN interface, Plex app, Infuse app, which is a paid Apple TV app, and the official UGREEN Apple TV app. And honestly, the NAS itself is fantastic for home cinema, but the software experience depends heavily on which app you use. So in this video I will explain what works well, what doesn't, and which setup I personally prefer. So let's start with the native UGREEN interface. So I will change my HDMI. It's the HDMI 3 port that is connected to the NAS. So yeah, to be honest, it's probably the weakest part of the whole experience. The NAS hardware is great, but the built-in UGREEN interface just doesn't feel very polished. In practice, it is mostly there just to stream content to another device, and beyond that it doesn't really do much. So if you take your tablet or phone, play the video, you have a cast option, and the cast option will recognize the NAS that is connected to the HDMI. It isn't great, and also a lot of video and audio codecs will not work. So yeah, I would say unless they really develop a separate app that will work with the HDMI port, I wouldn't use this option right now. So that's why I ended up using Apple TV for almost everything. And my setup is quite simple. I use the UGREEN NAS for storage and the Apple TV connected to the LG G4 OLED TV. And I use a Sonos home cinema system for the audio. And on the Apple TV I mainly use Plex, Infuse and the official UGREEN Apple TV app. And each one has its pros and cons. So yeah, let's start with the official UGREEN Apple TV app. So I will switch back to the Apple TV. Go to home. So yeah, this is the official UGREEN Apple TV app. Android boxes also have this UGREEN NAS Apple TV of a UGREEN NAS app. So yeah, the interface is actually quite decent, very simple. It's of course definitely better than the option I showed before with the streaming option. And it feels much more usable on the TV. One of the biggest advantages is that the library of my movies and series, etc., is not containerized, in which I mean that if I have external drives attached to the UGREEN NAS, I see the media of the external drives. This app does not work with music, so it's only movies from what I know. Another nice bonus is that the UGREEN Apple TV app also works, of not only Apple TV app, but the app itself also works for external users. So even if you're away from home, you can still use another Apple TV or an Android box and stream the same content. So it works the same as the phone app or the tablet app or something like that. It has a remote function built in. So that's nice. You can let other people watch your content via the UGREEN NAS if they have a user account on your NAS. So interface pretty good. It shows a lot of info. It shows the correct HDR info, which is a hit or miss on several apps. So this is a 4K Dolby Vision Atmos movie. And if I play with the correct setting on the Apple TV, if I play this video, the Atmos will correctly convert to multi-channel PCM. And on something like an NVIDIA Shield, it will correctly play Atmos with high channels. This was not working some time ago, so I think they had some updates and it's working correctly now. Unfortunately, the major drawback with this app is that HDR is not functioning correctly. It's a bit of an Apple TV fault and a UGREEN app fault. So I will explain a bit later, but you need to set the Apple TV app to SDR to automatically switch between Dolby Vision and normal HDR or HDR Plus. But when you set the output to SDR, this app doesn't show HDR, and if you force HDR, every movie or series will convert to that HDR. So yeah, HDR is not working, which is which is really unfortunate. So that's why I'm not using it, even if it's a pretty decent app. I hope they can fix it, and maybe I will continue to use this app. So yeah, overall, pros, it's a decent interface. It can access drives directly, and audio works correctly. Also shows the correct HDR info. And cons is that the HDR doesn't work correctly on the Apple TV, and it's still not as polished as some other apps that I will show. So next, let's go to Plex. So I think a lot of people are familiar with Plex. I think Plex overall has the best interface. Everything looks polished. It has beautiful artwork, good organization. It actually feels like a streaming service. Another big advantage of Plex is the remote access, which is a paid option. But yeah, the same as with the UGREEN NAS, external people can remote to the Plex server and watch the same content, but it does cost money if you're not using a VPN. So if you want to share movies with friends or families, it's a pretty good option. Plex has also a decent music interface, although still not amazing. My ultimate dream would be something like a full bar 2000 Apple TV app with external access, but that's not something that is available. Plex is amazing as an interface, as an app, but out of the box it includes a lot of extra features, recommendations, streaming content, and menus that I personally don't really need. So yeah, even after cleaning it up and disabling most of the unnecessary stuff, it still feels a little heavy compared to something like Infuse, which I will talk next about. I also sometimes get small playback hiccups with Plex. Not all the time, but every now and then it sometimes has some problems. Another issue with Plex is the HDR information. So yeah, Plex shows everything. Plex shows everything as a HDR, which is technically correct, but it does not show Dolby Vision or normal HDR. So yeah, it's a very small thing, but yeah, you cannot see which HDR it is. It does show the audio correct, and the same as the Apple TV UGREEN app. On the Apple TV, if you set things correctly, it will convert to multi-channel PCM correctly. So yeah, the audio works, and on the NVIDIA Shield, you can play native True HD with high channels. The good news is that HDR itself does work correctly. Movies switch properly into HDR, and yeah, the audio also works correctly. So that's a very good thing. However, there is one important limitation specific to the Plex app that when your Plex server is on the UGREEN NAS in a container, the data of and storage of your movie, series, music, etc. is also containerized. So if you connect external drives to the UGREEN NAS, which is definitely possible, you can see them on the Plex app, so it only shows internal storage of the NAS itself. That's because the containers now within the UGREEN interface only can access internal data. So yeah, at the moment you need to move the files onto the NAS itself or run Plex server on another device, or wait for UGREEN to improve this, hopefully in a future update. So overall pros, I think it has the nicest interface. I wanted to say best, but I don't think it's the best because it's quite bloated, but it has the nicest interface. Easy remote access with the Plex Pass. I do think the remote access with the UGREEN is much simpler because it is also free, and it doesn't require fiddling around with opening ports on your NAS and stuff like that. So definitely good. It has so it's good for sharing with other people. It has a pretty nice music interface, although it struggles sometimes a bit with different music codecs, but the general codecs like some multi-channel audio, FLAC, WAVE, MP3, AAC, the general stuff will, if you set up your Apple TV or NVIDIA shit correctly, it will work. And HDR and audio that will work correctly. So yeah, the cons are that it feels bloated, sometimes has some playback issues, and does not clearly show Dolby Vision versus HDR, which is of course a very small thing. And the Plex is containerized on the UGREEN NAS, so external drives are difficult to use. So the last app will be Infuse. So I switch to Infuse, which is this app. No, I was playing a movie. So yeah, Infuse looks like this. Its interface is very simple. You can tweak it somewhat. Here are some different parts, maps I created. So yeah, Infuse finally is my personal favorite. Especially for local playback, Infuse is simply the best option in my opinion. The interface is simple, clean, and very fast. It doesn't try to do much. You open the app, this is music, so I will switch to here. Films. Yeah, you open the app, select the content, and it just works. Playback is incredibly smooth, even better than Plex. And compared to Plex, I get fewer hiccups and everything just feels a bit more reliable. Audio also works perfectly with my Sonos setups. All audio will correctly convert to multi-channel PCM if you set things correctly in the Apple TV. So True HD will convert to multi-channel PCM 7.1, which is good. And just like the UGREEN app, Infuse is also not containerized. It can access external hard drives connected to the NAS, and that works perfectly. But the thing with Infuse is that it really is for local playback. So it doesn't, from what I know, it doesn't have a remote access function. So if you want to remotely use Infuse, you have to VPN from that remote location and connect the NAS to as sort of a local SMB folder. So also a very good thing is that as with Plex, Infuse correctly switches between normal HDR and Dolby Vision on the Apple TV. So if you want the best possible picture quality, this is the strongest option. The only real, what I did say, the only real downside is that it is focused on local playback, and it is not nearly as good as Plex with and UGREEN NAS with remote access for your friends and family. But for watching your own content at home, I think Infuse is the clear winner. Infuse does cost money, so keep that in mind. You can use Plex for free for local playback. Remote action does cost money. The UGREEN NAS is free, of course, if you use a UGREEN hardware. And it also has a free remote access. Infuse is just for local playback. And the app does cost money if you want to use most features, which I do definitely recommend. You can I think it's a monthly option of €2 a month or $2 a month, and I think it's around €50 or dollars if you have a lifetime subscription. And the remote access of Plex I think also costs €2 or dollars a month. So pros of the Infuse. It's my favorite for local playback. It's simple and clean interface, very smooth playback. Works well with external drives. HDR and Dolby Vision work correctly. Audio works perfectly. It's less useful for remote sharing, and it is not as feature rich as Plex if you really want to use that. So after trying everything, here is my conclusion. The UGREEN NAS itself is fantastic for home cinema. The hardware is excellent, performance is good, and it works really well as a central place for all your movies, TV shows and music. The weak point is mainly the software. The native UGREEN interface is not very good, and the official UGREEN Apple TV app still has some issues with HDR. Plex is the best option if you want a polished interface and remote access for other people. But for pure local playback on an Apple TV, Infuse is by far my favorite. It is the smoothest, simplest, and gives the best HDR and Dolby Vision experience in my opinion. So if you have a UGREEN NAS and an Apple TV, my ideal setup would be Infuse for your own local viewing, Plex if you want to share your library with other people, and maybe in the future if If UGREEN updates their Apple TV and Android app with correct HDR, then I would definitely use the UGREEN app, and for music maybe still Plex. And the UGREEN app only if you specifically need access to external drives and do not and external access and do not care about HDR. Anyway, that's been my experience. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what app you use with your NAS. It's been a long video, but I hoped I explained a lot to you to make a choice about how to use the UGREEN NAS or any other NAS on streaming devices, and definitely on Apple TV. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.